What is a dead giveaway that someone is an only child? I heard once only children are less likely to announce where they are going when they leave a room. Right away I realized I do that. But my partner, who grew up with two sisters, tells me where he's about to go when he moves. Even if it's to the bathroom. Thinking friendship is like having siblings. It's not. I would never smash a toy on my friend's head and expect him to speak to me after. From personal experience. Food habits. Like buying snacks to store at home and fully expecting them to not have been touched when you're gone. Or eating slower at the dinner table because you're not fighting over the good food. As a teen, on the rare occasion my dad would steal a snack I got for myself, I'd freak out. Whereas my friends with siblings just resigned themselves to the fate of snacks inevitably disappearing. My mom eats super fast at meals. And she attributes it largely to growing up with siblings. No tales of sibling violence. I can't tell for adults. But when it's one of my kids' friends, the kid who ends up trying to hang out with the adults and gets overwhelmed by being in a group of kids has been an only child 100 of the time in my experience. From my own experience, not being as prone to loneliness. The only time I really feel lonely is when I'm around people I'd rather not be with. On a more positive note, from personal experience, being secure with doing things alone. It's wild getting so many responses. This conversation really resonates with people. It's a fantastic study in how people really can't be put into nice little boxes. Everyone responds differently to life. I'm the only child in my family. My mom said she learns from her mistakes. I am an only child. I've noticed I tend to make a lot of life choices on my own and don't seek out a lot of advice or ask for help when I could definitely use it. In fact, I've been pretty deep in tough situations when I finally have the realization that there are people and resources I can utilize. It's not so much I'm worried about asking for help. More like it doesn't even register in my brain that there is help outside of myself. Pretty good at keeping ourselves entertained or doing things alone, being independent. Interesting. Read as an only child. Maybe myself and others who I know are only children were raised differently. But I don't really see the lack of social skills and being unable to share things. From talking to others, people have noted I am pretty comfortable being alone or being in silence, which I thought was interesting. They are very deliberate in their chosen relationships, e.g. friendships, partners, and are usually extremely independent. At least in my experience. They don't have any siblings. They enjoy quiet houses. Their pets is referred to as their siblings. Only child here. As a kid, I couldn't relate to other children. Their behavior was completely foreign to me. Even now that I'm old, most people seem odd. That they get blamed for everything. They have all the Legos. I am an only child. Trends I've noticed with others as well. You get along well with older people. They may seem like they have a mature edge, on the surface reserved, wise, etc. No issue being alone. Stubborn to seek out help, advice. Quiet. Not loud or obnoxious. But not necessarily shy. Usually close with parents. They think that siblings are basically live in childhood best friends. They can get shit done without asking for help. Example, I've had people calling me to assist them in making the bed because they needed somebody to hold the other corner of the sheet. Dude, This is not a two-people job. I was doing something else and you require assistance with a piece of cotton. Same goes for putting together furniture. Takes two people to assemble. Sure. It takes two people to assemble unless they are an only child. Then it just takes the one. If he keeps getting calls asking him about his whereabouts when he is out. Really unique relationships with parents. They usually have a very rigid idea and perception they're parents. For example, I have to call my mom every day or else she'll worry. Or my dad is always right about. I guess when you have siblings there's more diversity in how you perceive your parents and their actions. But with only children they seem to lack that holistic perspective. They typically seek out quieter spaces when they are at a spot that is getting too loud. Tend to prefer more intimate hangouts. Like chilling in a friend's basement or having dinner at a quiet restaurant. Rather than clubbing or going to big parties. At least in my experience. This is mostly an example about authors. But the way they write siblings. If they have them greet each other like hey a sis or something like that. They're an only child. Real siblings yell hey dipshit and rip out their siblings' kidneys. My BF is an only child and it was his confusion at how I can be mad at my sister who is also my roommate 1 minute and turn around and get ice cream or go see a movie together. He grew up with a bunch of cousins around his age. But it was the quick turnaround of I'm so mad at you to I wanna hang out. Let's do something. I'm an only child. One huge difference I see time and time again with those who have siblings, they had much more exposure to a longer time span of media, music, games growing up. My idea of nostalgia consists of my specific timeline of media growing up. But those with siblings were able to watch TV shows their older brother watched. Or knows about that game their little sister played. Apparently I'm an only child. I don't know how I'm going to break that news to my parents, but my brother is sure not going to like finding out this way. When they are fine doing stuff alone, to an unusual level. Very close with cousins. We are loners or really introverted. Some of us daydream a lot too. You have to use your imagination a lot when you spend your whole childhood playing alone in your house. Parent of an only. I'd say the ability to talk to adults are a young age and perhaps would rather talk to adults as a teen. They can leave the room without telling everyone where they are going or when they'll be back. As an only child with an only child friend. I'd say only children tend to not have lots of acquaintance friends nor the desire to make new ones. I don't have 20 folks I'd consider friends. I have 5 that I've known for 20 years that I'd do anything for and struggle to be friendly with. People that aren't that way. It's too personal for normal folk to be friends with me. And primarily only children seem to get it and be cool with it. Ability to self-entertain. Early development of vocabulary. They talk like an adult. Not here to offer an answer. But as someone who always wanted multiple children and found out I likely won't be able to have more outside my daughter. This is very comforting to read. I worried she might feel like she's missing out. But reading the comments from only children here, it doesn't seem that way. Thank you all. They're mainland Chinese and born after 1980. There is no dead giveaway. There may be certain aspects which may become clear in context, but the idea that you can spot an only child is flawed because everybody is different and many of us have divergent relationships with our families.